Hello all you Axe and Allies, No Limit here. Introducing a new house who's playtesting game over to YouTube between me and Sergeant Schultzie, entitled No Limits and Sergeant Schultzie's Centrals and Allies EX-E-14 or Expansion Enhanced 1914. Unless indicated below, all other rules are out of box. And if you've been playing 1914, the out of box version, you find that it's really slanted to the Allies' favor. The Axis really have very little chance of winning if you're playing with two experienced players of equal experience. And so me and Schultz decided we'd try to balance it out a bit, so it'd be close to 50-50 to either side. It can win this game, at least close to it anyways. And setup's going to still be pretty much the same, except there's an optional rule too where you get extra stuff. I'll get into that later. And Schultz says he's going to be playing the Axis Centrals, and so he'll be starting his video either today or tomorrow. Hopefully you get to see that. I gave him the rules. Hopefully he'll understand it. He wants me to make a video about it, so that's what I'm doing. Get introductory videos towards our YouTube game you're starting today or tomorrow. And so I got the rules all written down, almost 700 letter document. It's all the war is won. Okay, it could be either out of box, but if out of box victory isn't achieved by 15 rounds, whatever side has the most victory points by then wins, or play to a ceasefire if tied. And those victory points is the first one is economic dominance, highest IPC total gains of 1 BP. Each enemy capital gains a VP even if it's captured by the opposing side. Capture victory cities. The most captured VCs gains a VP. And including capitals, the other VCs are Budapest, Ukraine, Ruhr, Lorraine, India, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Venice. And the Russian Revolution is mandatory. It's no longer optional and must be played. When the Russian Revolution rule has occurred, its capital, economy, and VCs are not counted to the VP totals or victory point totals. So there's 3 different victory points. Easy enough. And whoever gets the most by round 15 wins. That's starting in round 15, because otherwise it has to be out of box victory. Because as you know, this game goes pretty long. It could go into 20s. So that's why I stopped it at 15. Beyond 15, that's when the VP totals can be start to be totaled. So that's why I did it like that. It's a play test, so we'll see how it works out. Okay. And the Danish Straits, right there. And also the Turkish Straits. I know they call it differently, but I can't pronounce those names. And so for the Danish Straits, must own at least one territory connected to Sea Zone 11 to enter to or from to the Atlantic. So as you know, in the Sea Zone, what was it? Yeah, what was it? Sea Zone 11, which is off of Germany. Right there. So as we know, Germany owns at least one territory in that sea zone, but nobody else. So pretty much they own the straits for pretty much the game. The other territories are neutral. We'll get into that later. Now the Turkish Straits must own Constantinople to enter from or to the Mediterranean Allied partner may use it. So, season 20, you own Constantinople, which the Turks do. So, only they get to cross it. Either way, or the Allies may use, the Allied partner may use it as well. Political situations are a little different. Okay, the Ottoman Empire is considered neutral territory until the Turks' turn in round 1 and may not be attacked beforehand. Also, the Allies may not enter Bulgaria, which is minor aligned with Turks anyways, and they may not enter Persia or Arabia until after the Ottomans have had their round 1 turn. So, no going into Persia. Arabia, or Bulgaria, or any of the allied nations until the Turks have declared war on their turn in round 1. I just did it this way because the Turks always get beat up and out of the box, so I just give them 1 round to play with so they can save some of their forces or strengthen a position. Okay, so what else? Okay, there's two rules about. Oh no crap. Okay, because that's for the Turks. Okay, for Italy, including Albania and Season 17, are considered neutral in round 1 and may not enter the war nor enter Allied territories until round 2 or till the Central Powers has attacked or entered either territory, sea zone, but Allied ship may pass through but not remain in neutral Season 17 in round 1. So that means Austria or Turkey, they could attack Italy in round 1 if they want to, but there's penalties considered. I'll get into that later. But like I said, Italy is considered neutral territory in round 1. Let's see what's an agenda here. Okay, these are considering a couple of the minor league nations. Portugal will minor align with France in round 4. Otherwise, it's considered neutral territory. So I did this because in the real war, they didn't instantly minor align with the Allied nation. Actually, it was with the UK, but out of the box has France as minor align. I didn't want to change the setup considering that. I didn't want to mess up the map. Now Greece will also minor align with the UK in round 6, just like the real war. They did minor align with the UK later in the war. Otherwise, it is considered neutral territory. So I get a little realism into this. In fact, on my map, I put a little Union Jack right next to Greece. You know, like the other minor aligned nations. I taped it on there. I cut it out of the rule book and taped it on there with what kind of tape was it? Packing tape, clear packing tape. I have a video concerning that. You can watch that under my customizations concerning how I tricked up the map here. As you've noticed, it doesn't look like your typical out-of-box map for 1914. So let's get on to this. Okay, this is concerning strict neutrals. With the exception of Persia, the Allies may not invade or enter any neutral territories until the Central Powers have attacked any neutrals or till round 9. So it's going beyond 1914 now, round 9. So in the real war, Persia was the only neutral territory that was attacked. So adding a little realism, but no other strict neutrals were attacked up to 1914. But in this game, round 9 would be beyond 1914. So anybody can attack them then. The Central Powers may invade any neutrals, including round 1 neutral Italy and Albania and C-Zone 17. However, this will bring America into the war 1 round sooner for each neutral territory attacked. So as you know, we're out of box. The USA can't enter the war until round 4 anyways, unless they're attacked. But also the strict neutrals, any more attack, it brings the U.S. 1 round closer. They can come in round 1, 2, or 3 if the Axis are stupid enough to attack any neutral territories, including Italy. So, let's see what else. Strict neutrals, Europe, African, and Mideast coalition. And out of box, I forgot what out of box says. I think if you attack one neutral territory, they all come in. I'm not sure about that because I don't play this much. But maybe that was a house rule, I don't know. But I'm going to make this as a house rule. Let's see. Strict, okay, that's coalitions of either Europe, Africa, or Mideast coalition. Any continental Europe neutral territory, including Spanish Morocco, but not round 1 neutral Albania, Italy, invaded by a power would result in being minor aligned to the opposing side. So pretty much, including what Spanish Morocco, any neutral territories in Europe proper. They're attacked, including Switzerland. They're attacked by anybody, then they all might align with the opposing side. Up for, let's see. Likewise, any African Mideast neutrals attacked, excluding Spanish Morocco, will likewise might align with the opposing side. So each coalition, though, Europe, Africa, along with Mideast, they don't affect each other. But for Africa, and Mideast, which is Afghanistan or the Empire of Ethiopia, they're attacked and become minor aligned with the opposing side. Okay, that gives the other heading is enhanced decrease abilities. Germany, the Ruhr can produce up to 6 units. So, the Ruhr right there. Where's the Ruhr? I think right there somewhere. Yeah, I forget where. They can produce up to 6 units. They make it fair for the Germans, I suppose. What else? Also for Germany, unrestricted, when under the unrestricted submarine warfare rule, is extended to any sea zone adjacent to British-U.S. territory, where each sub of 3 or less would be deducted from that targeted nation's income. So whatever sea zone is connected to the territory, up to 3 can. Up to 3 can be taken off. The sea zone A will be up to connected to Wales and Iceland, so it will be up to 3, depending on how many subs you have for each sub. When the unrestricted rule is enforced later in the game. Yeah, let me see here. What else? Okay, tank builds. In round 3 begins with UK turn, because the British, they're the one who invented the tank, so that's when they can, anybody can build tanks afterwards in round 3, after the UK turn. America may not move any units outside the US or Zone 1 until they are officially at war. So this made this rule because it's pretty confusing. People say they can move anything out as long as they're neutral, but that's not really so. They can move their ships out, but they can't put anything on transports out of the box. People get that confused. So I'm just going to make it simple and to say the U.S. can't move anything out of their territory of Zone 1 until they're officially at war. Let's see here. Here's another one. Movement of land units in non-African territories. So this does not apply to Africa. Every other continent, though, it applies to. All land units beginning in friendly, non-contested territories can move up to 2 spaces into any territory. However, if the first space is hostile, contested, or neutral, or minor line, then it ends its movement there. So, it's pretty much like the tournament rules there. Okay, here's a one rule I really like here too. Okay, surviving ace pilot tank crew builds. For each fighter that survives a battle after it is considered an ace pilot and can attack, defend, and move at a 3 on the next player's turn. So I thought that's pretty good. So, as you know, out of the boxes, they have to go through a dogfight, and whatever side is victored in their planes, in their fighter dogfights. So I'm gonna reward that a little bit, because I think in out of box, I think it's dumb they can only fire at a 2, move 2, all 2s. So I always thought that was pretty dumb. So I'm just going to give us any ace pilot that survives a little more added powers to it, or abilities, I should say. Now, for each down pilot in a territory C-zone may roll a dice. If after the battle the territory C-zone is friendly, contested, then the roll is 3 or less, and the next fighter build is 3 IPCs. And out of the box, there's not many fighter builds, so I make it cheaper for any down pilots. If after the battle it's over a hostile territory that we're down in or C-zone, the roll is 2 or less. I thought that it may be good. I'm almost done here. Hey. All right. Okay, this is for the ace tank crew builds. Likewise, for each tank surviving battle, even in a contested territory, afterwards it is considered an ace tank crew and can attack at a 3 and defend at a 2. So that's our added ability. If rewards any tank crew that survives a battle. Now, for each destroyed tank in a territory, also follows the same down fighter roll protocols, and the next tank build is 3 IPCs for any surviving tanks that were destroyed. So, tank builds are even more uncommon and out of the box as well than fighters are. And so I thought I encourage more tank builds by making it cheaper for any down tanks Okay, you may place a control marker or your own customized chip under the fighter tank to indicate A status or reduce build. So that's pretty simple. And finding the last one is an optional rule. You may or may not want to use it, but I think it's pretty cool. These are extra units to the map. If you see my videos, I hate bids. I pretty much refuse to play them unless I have no choice. But in this one, I do have a choice. This is it's just an optional run. This is not considered a bid because all extra units of the map are evenly fair to each side. They all add up to the same IPC value of all total units for each side. So for Vienna gets an extra fighter, and Zone 18 gets a sub. Moscow also gets a fighter. Togoland in Africa, as well as Cameroon, also gets an extra infantry in Africa. This is to make Germany stronger in Africa, getting a little firepower, just like the real war. Since they can't really build here, so I give them a little extra units to make it a little more fair for Germany in Africa. London gets a fighter because I don't know why they don't allow the Brits to start with a fighter. That's dumb. Constantinople gets a fighter, Rome gets a fighter, and the USA gets a fighter as well. And I said Moscow too, because I always thought, why don't these nations start out with a fighter? That's stupid. So I'll give everybody extra units. Remember, it's not considered a bid because each side it totals to the same IPC value for either side when you total all the unit costs. So I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully you'll follow our game. We'll try to play test this to its completion. It may take a few games, perhaps, because the other game of ours was the G40 house rules. That took 16 games. We're in our 16th game already. And hopefully this won't take as long. It may take a few games, and the last game will be played to its completion, unlike other YouTube games of 1914. I haven't seen one that play to its completion at all. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll be using these battle bucks from HBG. Yeah, but I'm going to try to convert them into chips. Like that. I'm still in the process of doing it. This is just my prototype. But it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? They're two-sided. It's a 50. It's a 20. It's a 10. It's a 5. That's a 1. And I just cut them out. And these battle bucks. I think I prefer chips anyways. My brother doesn't, but it's not his game. So I'll probably show a video concerning that, and watch my video concerning my customizations of my tricked up map of various maps, not only 1914 but also G40 anniversary and a 42 second edition game. So watch out for that. It's already uploaded, and so hope you enjoyed that. And I'll just conclude by saying, with the no limit, there is no limit.